Good morning and welcome back to Constellation Station. I'm Nicole from the Cincinnati Observatory, and here at Constellation Station, we like to do three things. We like to learn a little bit about constellations, figure out where we can find them up in the night sky, and then make those constellations here in our own homes. And today I have a very special constellation because this constellation is a lot newer than some of the other ones we've talked about here on the show. We've talked about different cultures and different time periods where people have come up with these constellations, came up with stories about them. We've heard some really crazy and silly, sometimes scary stories about constellations up in the night sky. But this constellation is so new that there is no constellation myth. This constellation was discovered in the 18th century, so that's not that long ago. And so there's actually no myths about it. And this constellation is called Camelopardalis. Say that 3 times fast. It's a big word. And it has 2 special words hidden inside the name of this constellation. It has camel and leopard. And those 2 animals together make the animal of our constellation today. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nicole, a camel and a leopard, they don't have that much in common. But if we take features from both, we can start to think about maybe what this animal might be. So I want you to think about a camel and the features of the camel, right? Camels are really big, and they're really big animals. They live in the desert, but then you have a leopard who's known for its spots. Our animal today is really big. It's famous for a very long neck, and it's covered in spots. Do you know what animal that might be? It's a giraffe. That's awesome. I'm glad you got that. I knew you were smart enough to figure that out. It's a giraffe. And our stars that we're going to use today are these stars right here. Now, we'll start off by saying we need to use our imagination, like always, with this constellation, because I don't think this constellation looks that much like a giraffe, or really a camel or a leopard. But with our imaginations, we can connect the dots and maybe start to figure this out just a little bit. So I want us to start by picturing our giraffe facing upside down. It's upside down. It's like this. And so I want us to think about the head of the giraffe being down here by this star, and the legs being somewhere over here. Now we know that giraffes are really big and really tall. So I don't want you to picture that the giraffe could fit in my bedroom. Of course that wouldn't happen. It'd be way too big for in here. But if we pretend that the giraffe is shrunk a little bit and then put upside down here on my constellation station, we might be able to start picturing it. So let's start down here by the legs, and we'll work ourselves down to the head and then back around to finish out the body and the legs of our giraffe. And today I was kind of getting into the holiday spirit, so I decided to use ribbon to connect our dots today. So this is a wintry ribbon that I found at the store. And remember, you can use whatever you want to connect your dots. A lot of times we draw them out on pieces of paper and use pencils or colored pencils or markers, but here at Constellation Station, we like to get kind of funky with our materials. So let's start up here at the top, and we're going to connect down to these 2 stars here. So we're starting down kind of at the back legs, going down, and we're going to make our way all the way down to our giraffe head down here. So the good news is we already have a really big looking constellation, which can help us remember that we're talking about a really big animal. Next, we're going to come back down to this side of the body, kind of the bottom of the giraffe here. We're going to connect these 2 stars. We're going to connect 2 other stars here. And then actually we only have 1 more star to connect, and that's around the side right here. We don't have that much left to do. And just like that, we're already done connecting the dots. Even though this is a really big constellation, it doesn't take that many stars. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars in our constellation today. And it makes up our kind of upside down giraffe. Now, I think this just kind of looks like a triangle with a big line coming out of it. And that is kind of what it looks like, even up in the night sky. But I want you to imagine this line right here as a giraffe's really long neck going out into the stars. And the greatest thing about this constellation is that it doesn't have a constellation story just yet. That means it's up to us to make up those constellation stories. I like to imagine that this constellation got put up in the night sky because the giraffe was stretching its neck so long up into the sky that it actually went into the night sky and became a constellation. How do you think this constellation got up in the night sky? Let us know on Instagram and Facebook, #ConstellationStation, and we hope to hear from you guys to figure out maybe what kind of myth we could have for this kind of constellation, all about our giraffe, Camelopardalis. Now, where can we find Camelopardalis up in the night sky? We are going to need to look in the north. This is one of our northern constellations, which means it's one of our circumpolar constellations instead of one of our zodiac constellations. So this is almost always up in the night sky somewhere in the north. And in this case, it's in the northeastern sky right around 8 o'clock. And remember, you're going to want to find a giraffe kind of peeking its head down. So the giraffe won't be straight up in the air eating out of a tree. It'll be bending its neck down, trying to maybe sniff something on the ground. And our giraffe can be found in the northeastern sky, kind of next to the Little Dipper and above the Big Dipper. So if you can find the Big Dipper and follow the stars to our giraffe stars here, or look for the Little Dipper and look right next to it in the northeastern sky. The Little Dipper will be in the northern sky, and this is in the northeastern sky. Good luck finding our constellation, and let us know if you come up with a constellation myth, and we'll see you guys next week.